Lovely humans, today we are going to talk about how to style your wedding. First and foremost, you have to be practical. When you're planning a style for your event, you have to be practical about what your budget is. If you have $15,000, you can't do a 7-tier cake. It's just not going to happen. And if you have $60,000, it's still going to limit you in some areas. You have to be practical about what your budget is. You also have to be aware of the season that you're getting married in and your venue specifically, because that's going to heavily impact your style. If you are having a summer wedding, obviously you can't create winter vibes. It's just not going to happen. If you're getting married in a hotel ballroom, you can't create a rustic feel like you could if you were getting married in a barn. And I know that sounds really obvious, but sometimes just saying those things out loud helps you to really kind of cut away some of those other ideas that may be pushing you back and forth when you're trying to define your wedding style. Another practicality that you have to be aware of is your guest count. It's a lot easier to create an intimate experience with 100 guests than it is with 300 guests. So think about the amount of people that you want to invite, because that will heavily impact what style you're able to pull off with your budget and your location and the season. Secondly, think of the vibe that you want to create. Think of parties that you've been to that you've really, really enjoyed. Was there a lot of good conversation? Was there really, really good music? What drew you to that event the most? I love when brides who are wedding planning go to another event, because I always encourage them, look around, see what you like and see what you don't like. What were you drawn to? What were you kind of repulsed by? Or maybe not repulsed, maybe that's not the best term for it. But what did you find inspiring about that event, and why did you as a guest enjoy that? And let that influence what you do with your wedding to make sure that your guests enjoy your day. Do you want to have really good intimate conversations? If so, have really good wine, have warm lighting all over, a bunch of candles, keep the lights low. Do you want your dance floor to be packed? If so, invest in a really good DJ and a disco ball and those really cool up lights, because that changes the entire vibe of the event. And if you want that intimate feeling, perhaps you can invest in some lounge spaces. But if you want everyone to get on the dance floor, don't create other spaces for them to go hang out, because then that will pull them away from the experience that you're wanting to create. Thirdly, look in your closet. I personally wear a lot of monochromatic colors. I wear grays and whites and blacks, and I really like leather elements in my style. I love a good leather boot, and the watch that I normally wear is leather. Those are just things for me that I really, really happen to enjoy. So when I styled my wedding, we went monochromatic. We didn't have colors in our bouquet. It was just white and green, and our centerpieces were these wood rounds with a couple different bottles and vintage silver elements, because I really enjoyed that texture. And if you look at my closet, you're gonna see that same exact thing. But if you happen to look in your closet and you see a bunch of bright and vibrant colors that show off who you are, then you're gonna wanna consider incorporating a bunch of bright and fun colors into your event. Throw a bunch of colors in that bouquet. Don't wear a white dress, wear a blue one, wear a pink one. Let your wedding day say who you are as a person and who you guys are as a couple. Take a look in your fiance's closet. What does he have in there? Does he have a bunch of plaids? Does he have a funky style? Does he wear necklaces? Does he wear the same size pants that you do? I don't know. Just walk in your closet, take a step back, and take it all in. Who are you? What does your style say you are? And then use that to really influence your event. I had a bride who wears a lot of high heels, and she's just the cutest, but she wears high heels on a daily basis. That's something that I don't do, so her wedding style was drastically different from mine. Her centerpieces had a bunch of hydrangeas and crystals dripping from them. They used black and white and gold to really elevate the overall experience and really showcase who her and her now husband are as a couple. They're an elegant and beautiful couple, and they're really invested in the finer things in life, and they wanted to create that same experience for their guests. The fourth thing you're going to want to consider is carrying the theme. If you've ever been to Disneyland, you walk in and all of a sudden you are transported to a completely different place. They are piping in the scent of ice cream onto Main Street, and you start salivating and you look at all the buildings on Main Street, and there's not a hole at all in the facade. It feels like you are in a different place. And that's the kind of thing that you're going to want to do on your wedding day. Obviously, you're going to have to consider your budget and all of that, but carry your theme from your invitation to your centerpieces to your dance floor. If you want a rustic vibe, perhaps you make your invitations out of wood paper, and then your centerpieces have wood rounds in them. And then your dance floor has line dancing. So you really kind of have created this entire thematic event for people to enjoy. If you're the type that wears a lot of high heels, sending out invitations that have silver or some sort of glittery element and having invitations that have those dripping crystals, and then having a dance floor that has some really, really fun music, but also perhaps bringing in a jazz band or a live band to really create that elevated, elegant experience is going to be totally different. So once you've considered your practicalities, your vibe that you want to create, and your personal style, then really strive to carry that theme. My one word of caution is when you are defining your wedding style, at a certain point, you have to say no to Pinterest. Don't log on anymore. Don't go back and look. I know that in my wedding planning process, when I got to a certain point and I'd go back on Pinterest, I would second guess a lot of the things that I had put together, and it caused me so much anxiety. And I know it does it for some of my brides too. At a certain point, close the laptop and walk away. Don't even look back, because you already know the practicalities that you're subscribing to. You already know the vibe that you want to create for yourself and for your guests, and you've already looked in your closet and you know the style of who you are and who your fiance is, and you already know that you want to carry the theme. So when you keep going back to Pinterest and back to those styled shoots and those $100,000 weddings, it can be really, really hard to pull off those ideas with all of those things that you already have set in place. So at a certain point, you just have to walk away and trust that what you're putting together is a beautiful, beautiful experience that really defines who you are as a person, who you are as a couple, and the overall event that you want to create. And that's all we have for today. I thought, oh my gosh, I just panicked. I thought I wasn't recording at all. All right, folks, that's what we have for today. Just a couple of quick tips on how to help you define your wedding style. I really hope that was helpful for you. If you haven't done so yet, go down on the bottom and smash that subscribe button, like this video for more tips and tricks for the modern day bride. Also, reach out to us on social media, give us a follow. We are on Instagram and on Facebook, like all the cool kids are. And if you are in the throes of wedding planning or know someone who happens to be, shoot me an email. Our first consultation is always free. I love chatting with brides. It's my favorite things to do because I'm a nerd. If that wasn't already showing through this video and through, the premise of this channel, I don't know. But yeah, shoot me an email. Let's talk. And let's walk through perhaps how we can help better define your wedding style. Until next time. Bye, guys. Best part about vlogging is I get to wear pajama pants. I know.